Good afternoon. NTEC streaming live over Sky Sport Next on YouTube, bringing you the New Zealand Secondary Schools pairs in partnership with Somerset Retirement Villages and New Zealand Secondary Schools Sports Council. Commentators this afternoon are Avon Compton, New Zealand Singles Champion 2015, and Trevor Rayner. Began this morning with 20 teams from 10 colleges. 7 teams have qualified for the post-section of the main event, and the quarter-final that we'll be showing you features 2 teams from Mount Maunganui College, Hunter Reid and Sarah Adlam, versus Matthew Adlam and Michael Burke. Other matches underway will be between Sarah Burke and Beth Simpson from Mount Maunganui College, and Matthew Foster and Dylan Foster from Gisborne Boys High School. Damon Forster and Bailey Irwin from Whakatane versus Jordan Keane and Logan Heppel from Onslow College. And the defending champions Nathan Trowell and Akuhata Keelan from Gisborne Boys High School have a bye.
I'm looking forward to this match, Trevor. The battle with the siblings, Matthew and Sarah. It's interesting when siblings don't play together. You wonder if it's always it's quite difficult to play with your siblings at times. Emotions get high.
I think these teams have probably been balanced out by their coaches, Avon. It looks like Sarah and Hunter are playing the blue bowls and Matthew and Michael playing the orange.
So the players are just trying to find the speed of the mat and where the green is for the break of the bowl. It's important at this stage that if you are a little bit out, that you're over the head and not putting a short one in that might block your later bowls.
A good start by Michael with his bowls behind the head. Sure Sarah will settle into it. Both these teams played very well in the qualifying rounds this morning. Hunter and Sarah having 3 wins and Matthew and Michael having 4.
So a little bit rough in the first end, but we expect this to get a bit tighter as the game goes on. The first hole of the skip in pairs is always very, very important. If you can get a bowl there or move the jack or close out the head, it puts a lot of pressure on that opposing skip.
You're just struggling a little bit with the speed at this stage.
And having been involved in some of the renovations on the floor of the soil, I can tell you it's slightly uphill this way. So when they head back towards that far wall, it will be about a foot to 18 inches quicker.
Very good second bowl from Matthew.
Yeah, top shot there. Interesting to see how Hunter plays this. Looking a little bit more aggressive.
And he's got a result.
Oh, that's
good
a ripper.
result.
That's a ripper.
Used his bowls. He had a couple of options there and he got the inside rub onto the jack.
Matthew's got a good chance here if you maybe get a little slide. Oh, not quite.
One blue. So Hunter Reid and Sarah Adlam 1-0 after one end. Players have asked to give a shout out to their coaches Alison Cowan and Roger Bartosh, who help out at the college and at the Mount Wanganui Junior Club, which I understand has about 30 members. Sarah threw a shorter end this time and played a good weighted bowl with her first, coming up now with her second.
Another good effort here as well. Lovely back roll. The floor to that point will still be running slightly up. It's just you get over a hump about three-quarters of the way down on that section of the floor, and then it will start to run on. It's another good bowl there.
Yep. There's a variety of bowlers at this event. Some have been playing for some time, others are very new to the game. They're all enthusiastic. They play for the enjoyment.
Yes, one noticeable thing about the secondary school championships that everybody's got a smile on their dial, having a great time, and if they they win, they win. If they lose, they lose, and half of it's just meeting some new people from around the country or catching up with mates that you've made over the previous few years. The other great thing about the sport is that anybody can play it. Anybody can play a good bowl, and it's really about that shot completion rate. How many shots out of 100 can you make all the time? 80, 90%, 95% at the top level. So if you're having a great day, you can beat a provincial or international representative at the sport. So it's a humbling game at times. So Michael putting some cover in around the back. Correction, Matthew, rather. Having a little dig here, see if they can get some jack with him.
He's got a nice little slide. Push the jack back. Hard to tell with the camera angle, but I suspect that blue has the shot. Definitely has the shot now. Unlucky there. It holds a little bit on that side, and if you're playing just a little bit overweight, it'll won't turn until quite late.
It's one of the vagaries of this ball playing on a strand board surface that when you play weight, it will tend to hold its line a lot longer than say on a hardwood or concrete based floor. And, there could be a good shot on here, playing through that front blue orange through the jack. Let's see what they're going to do. Possibly just maybe try and draw around and nudge the shot bowl if they're playing the forehand. We're going to go for the outside plant. There are a couple of different options there.
Needed to play that with a little bit more weight. That's another 1 to Hunter and Sarah. They now lead 2-0 after 2 ends.
Is it worth mentioning the conditions of play for the PS Trevor?
Yes, it probably is. This game is being played over 9 ends or 35 minutes. The semi-final and final will be played over 9 ends. If the game ends in a draw, they'll play a deciding end.
And on that deciding end, the team that scored on the last end of the regular
Of play
9 ends
leads off.
Leads off, so the opposition will have the last bowl, and that's often crucial in those pressure situations. So we've got a bit of a longer jack here this time. It'll definitely be a little bit uphill, so these players will just want to make sure they're following through the action nicely to get the weight up to the jack. Good speed there, just a little bit tight on the line. A good handy back bowl there from Sarah. Just scraping past the jack pit.
Had the right idea, made sure he was up. It's now finished behind the head. It's given his skip good position.
Yeah, Matthew can definitely be taking that with his next bowl. So Hunter just needs to close this off a little bit and reduce the options available to their opponent.
It's being a little bit tentative. Perhaps it's being on the with the cameras a little bit nervous.
Ooh, there might be a little cheeky slide here. Oh yes.
Well, that's one back from the first 2 ends.
Yeah, if you can't be good, be lucky, as they say.
Yep.
Little nibble with a shot bowl. Oh, almost.
Well, that could have been very good for blue.
So it looks like Michael indicated Matthew just get one around behind to cover the movement of the jack. When you've got the jack touching a shot bowl, the jack will pop at quite a fair speed, just with a difference in the weights.
He's very cautious here. He might get one just enough in the road. No, it's ducked off at last minute.
This looks quite positive. It's going to hold up, maybe. Oh my God. Ooh, almost got the wick off that front one. You hate those as a skip where you've not quite executed your bowl and then the opposition might get a wick off it into the head. It's always a nightmare. This looks like it's on a good line. Just a little bit quick.
But he took his green. When you're holding, it's a good idea to take your green. So that was 1 to Matthew Adlam and Michael Burke, and the score is 1-2 after 3.
Both players still struggling to find their weight. It'll be interesting if this continues. We might see a few more running shots or attacking shots to play through the head as we did on that first end.
Good second bowl here from Michael. Just needed to come around a little bit more. It looked much more positive in the delivery, but that was deceptive.
Michael will be looking to get one right on the jack, on that little white ball, making it tough for the opposition to get in the head to get shot or cut it down, but just a little bit tentative there, cutting both weight and green.
Sarah with her last bowl, last of the Leeds bowls. Given us a very good line. unlucky to go in through the gap there. She gave it a good opportunity.
It's likely the jack might head that way as someone comes on the 45-degree angle. It's going to go towards the edge of the delivery box. You can see Mark there on the mat.
See in the background there the tournament controller, Neil Anderson, taking a wee break.
Now that was meant to be a cover bowl. It was meant to be about another metre up the mat to try to give them some cover should the jack move. Probably a measure there now. It's hard to tell from this angle, possibly the blue, but still wide open. Yeah, nice volley by Matthew. Just off touching.
Made it a little bit harder here for Hunter to be able to recover the shot.
Taking their time looking at their head, it's often a sign of inexperience if they go flying at this with a little bit of speed, where really you just only need to be drawing to it or drawing with a few sort of 10, 20, 30 centimetres over the draw just to keep it nice and tight, and it looks like that's what they've elected to do. So the orange team here are just thinking, okay, how do we put another shot in without setting up an opportunity for the opposition? And that, of course, that's coming around on the left-hand side of your screen. When we cut back to it, they're just trying to get around that front orange. Unfortunately, they haven't, but it could be in the eye of the opposition. Might be able to chip it out.
No,
actually
turned it into two that back pole, which Michael put in earlier.
Really needed the absolute fin edge to slice it out of the head with no jack move, and it was always going to be tricky.
So that was two shots to Matthew Adlam and Michael Burke. They lead 3-2 after 4. Hunter's last bowl on that end, he gave it a chance, made sure he was up. An old adage in bowls, when you're down you've got to be up.
This looks like a good bowl here by Sarah, adjusting to the uphill speed. That's
very good opening bowl by Sarah.
It's easier to forget when the mat does run a little bit uphill, downhill, that you need that sort of extra 30 to 50 centimetres of power, of weight to get your bowl up here. It's a reasonable adjustment.
Good correction by Michael. It's a good second shot.
So Sarah's just talking to Hunter there about which hand she was going to play. Sometimes players are a little bit cautious of playing the same hand with a bowl close. They don't want to pop the jack out. So she's tried to come around behind and might just stay on the end. No, it popped off.
No, it's just fallen off.
Yeah. As it's seeing there, most players would have probably come in the same hand, as it's not, the shot bowl's not touching the jack. Still struggling with the weight there. Just got some scores in from the other games here. So Matthew Foster and Dylan Foster against Sarah Burke and Beth Simpson. The Foster brothers are up 7 points to 0 after 3 ends. With Damon Forster and Bailey Irwin versus Jordan Keane and Logan Heppel. Keane leads 4 points to 2 after 3 ends. I'm keeping a close eye on that game, Trevor. I'm a Oslo College old boy, so I'll declare my conflicts of interest there.
I was similar yesterday, Avon, when the Sam Landers from Hawera High School was playing the final of the secondary school singles.
Now let's just open the door for Orange just to push up that front bowl by 1 or 2 feet, being aggressive. Looks like it's got some good speed out of his hand. Just slipping under.
It's interesting the setup of these two pairs. It looks like the real draw players are the leads, while the two boys playing skip seem to be a little bit more aggressive. Hunter in particular seems to make sure he's up through the head.
And I think he needs to think that way on this bowl here, Trevor. He's, even if he moves the jack a little bit, he wants to sort of shut the door a bit.
He's trying to draw. He didn't have either here really.
Yeah, it's kind of if you're not 100% focused on this bowl you want to play and you've got 2 shots in your mind, you can end up playing nothing. This looks very close indeed. Yeah, great shot.
Very well played.
I have 2 shots there, and it's looking like it could be very difficult to get that back. Hunter's having a slow walk up the mat. He's having a chat with Sarah, thinking about the options here. Probably going to be hard to get shot. It's probably how do we cut this down to just 1 orange.
The angle can be deceptive. It may be only 1 orange now, but
just on a positive draw here.
we can't see the head because we can see Sarah's head. It looks like the orange bowl, which we had a little bit of doubt about, may have got run over or turned over to bring it into the count. So that was 2 to Matthew and Michael. They lead 5-2 after 5 ends. 5 ends.
All right, let's see how the leads adjust their weight for this downhill run. Michael was a little bit short on the last end, so hopefully this is more to his liking. Well, they've gone for a very short jack. Hunter probably thinking that with a short jack he might have a bit more of an opportunity to get a big number or make an impact with his last bowl at the end. Good reply here.
2 good opening bowls by the leads.
There's some good discipline shown as well with the weight. Often on a short end it's easy to be tempted into playing positive, what we call the rake shot. Get your guarding tools out and
move the jack back.
Yeah, move the jack, move bowls off the head. But often if you can just control your more aggressive instincts and put bowls on the head, it's a far better idea. Here's another good bowl here from Sarah. So maybe that's something Hunter knows. Like he can rely on Sarah on the short ends to keep it nice and tight.
So, what do you think that's going to try to do?
Michael waiting for instructions here.
And I just looked at the window and he sort of signalled for Michael to come in behind, right around the head.
suspect with that call, can't see what's happening here.
Just another long draw to ahead. I think they had a last minute change because I saw Matthew actually suiting to play the other hand. So it's a learning experience for a lot of these players. They haven't played at this kind of level before, playing all the other best secondary school bowlers in the country, and be a little bit nervous the first time on TV. I know I was when I was about 16. That's another good bowl there from Sarah, really building it up, and there might be an opportunity to pop that closest orange shot put bowl off later in the end. And that's the thing about under bowls, that it's the strategy in the game. So although there's an opportunity to pop the opposition's bowl off, you might want to leave that until your last bowl, when the opposition might only have one chance to do something about it, or if you've got the last bowl and they can't do anything about it.
He's
So
not playing that shot, he's playing his forehand. Just come round behind.
So he's just building up the head and making it harder and harder for Orange to get in.
Fell back and it's not the blue ball, which may have been shot.
But we're really going to pop it to get to that orange.
Blues packed the head here with a solitary orange in the head.
Yeah, Matthew and Michael are aware they're in a bit of trouble here. They're conscious that they need to do something to get out of trouble. Interesting to see if he just tries to get something close around the back, or if he's going to just try getting into the head to... Oh, it's a handy block actually.
That might be a better bowl than he thinks.
If you play good draw weight, you can still get to that blue.
It just needs to be
orange.
over the draw. It should turn twice, shouldn't it, Ava?
Yeah. They look like they're touching, so as soon as they're touching, all the momentum goes through the bowls and it will sit down and flip back up quite easily.
He's lining up to play this a bit more aggressively.
That's the right kind of speed for the shot.
Yeah.
To start a little bit too tight. Often it's when you've got two bowls to go, even if he'd sort of hit the front of the head to maybe clear the way, often in indoor bowls it's about opening up a head for a start, getting rid of the short rubbish out of the way, and then getting the shot with your next bowl. There's another block. He's been thinking about that very carefully. So, what will Hunter Reid do? Will he chance his arm and pump through the centre orange and that at the front and see if he can get that onto the shot blue? When Sarah comes back off the mat, you'll be able to see in that row of oranges up the front, you might be able to take that middle one and that will carry through onto the blue to pop off the orange.
Yeah, the second one, just be interesting, he's playing that hand.
So he's selected to just give it a nibble on the other side. Oh, very close. If he just got around that front orange, it would have definitely changed the situation.
Well, I think that was one orange.
Yeah, I think they escaped that.
6-2 after 6 hits.
It was a good escape. And to be fair, the two short bowls did the trick at the end of the day.
Sounded like a Roger Bartos strategy, or looked like a Roger Bartos strategy, Avon.
He's a very handy bowler, Roger. And you saw Michael spinning his bowl. Often something you see bowlers do when they know they've cut the green a little bit short. And this is just going back uphill, so easily done. Sarah's
followed suit.
So yeah, so they're playing the same kind of length ends. Gone for that short jack again. Hunter called that after the jack was bowled into the delivery box. You've got to stop it before the delivery box and pass it to third point on the mat. So although it's the same length on the mat, this hole was, it's only sort of 2 or 3 millimetres uphill that way, but it doesn't impact on the speed of the bowls. Especially green here from Stero, just needing that extra sort of foot or 30 centimetres of weight to get to the jack or past. This is more positive from Michael. Yeah, very nice there. Alright, Sarah really needs to give Hunter some bowls to play too. Definitely more positive this time. Can she slide around? No.
She'd be a little bit disappointed with that, I think. She. Both players a little bit tentative.
Be interesting to see what Hunter decides to do on the next bowl, whether he's going to stick to the draw or whether he might chance his arm up through a gap in the middle. It's pretty hard now to draw in there, but there's that channel straight through the centre of the head that he looks like he's sort of having a look at. He's thinking about it.
He wants to smash it, I suspect.
Often, I mean, so in the rules of the game, for the first 4 bowls from either team, if you kill the jack, and that's knocking the white ball off the side of the mat or off the end of the mat, it's 2 points away to the opposition. But if any team does that on their 5th and 6th bowl, then it's worth 3 points to opposition. So if you're going to have a go at it, you might as well have a go now. He's just trying to draw in. It's getting tougher and tougher, but there might still be a plant through 2 of the blues to chop her orange out. We'll most probably have to go quite aggressive next bowl. So if you're looking like he's just going to turn an orange into the head or just get right around the back. Just try and nudge those oranges up. Not quite. Hunter's just popped up to the head to see the angles of it. It's Doubles is a game where you've got to have good mental visualisation. So you actually think about a line on the mat that your bowl's going to take to the desired location.
Just their weight.
Green was perfect. Yeah. Now that track would have been nice if you just had that extra sort of 30-40 centimetres. It just would have dropped around that front orange.
Very hard to score a multiple on this head with 9 of the bowls played. 9 of the 10 bowls played short of the jack.
That's a good draw.
That's a good bowl at the back.
Right, Hunter somehow has to get one shot out of this to keep them in the game. It's quite a bit of pressure because we've only got 2 ends after this.
Probably 1 end to go, Avon, because the time's 3 minutes.
Time's quite tight.
So there'll be 1 more end after this.
Yeah, although they may lose an end, it's good to see the juniors, taking their time and thinking about the shots you're going to play. In all bowls, if you like sports like snooker, it's very strategic about where you leave your bowls on the mat to take advantage of later on. Still staying on the draw. It's not on a bad line if it slips around.
He has played a roaster.
That's huge.
What
That's a screamer.
What a shot.
Champagne into bowls, or maybe sparkling grapefruit.
Didn't panic, backed his draw, got his weight right with his 3rd bowl and got the shot. 1 to Hunter Reid and Sarah Adlam. They trail 3-6 after 7 ends, playing what will be the last end.
Yep, 2 minutes more on the clock, so that could be crucial. Means they only need 3 to draw to go to the extra end. Looks like we're on a longer end again.
may be able to give you some updates before the end of this game on progress of the other quarterfinals. Just send our runner off to get them.
Alright, we've gone for a medium length end here. And Sarah's last ball is going to be very crucial. Might have to look to come through those two oranges, a little bit of jack movement. Or if not, just get another handy one round behind. So they need to get a grouping here together.
The other quarterfinals, the Keane versus Irwin game is very close, and Foster leads Burke and Simpson.
It's going to make it quite difficult now for Hunter. He's going to have to get probably 2 or 3 of his bowls up there to get a result. So pressure coming on. Let's see whether it's the last orange bowl. And just covering the back of the head.
Michael's gone round to cover the back.
Whistle's just gone so they can take their time on this end. So I imagine there'll be a bit of looking at the head and discussing the various options. Often it's you've got to think about what are the two or three shots here, how risky are they, or how easy are they, and what kind of how is they going to leave the head sitting for the opposition when they play their bowl.
Playing this on his forehand, looking for the gap. A little bit wide. The weight was really good.
And I mean, if that stays on, it's still handy. Yes, it's just on the back, so that could be crucial.
Just trying to tighten the angles there. It means he has to bring the jack back a little bit further now.
Good calm bowl there from Matthew.
Too wide again.
Oh, and that's very ugly now. Very difficult to try and make 3 out of that. The only hope that they might have is if the opposition change how the head is sitting. Because they've only got 2 blues to work with at the back, and if they do move it, the orange might be coming off it. Sensible bowl, just get around the back and don't give the opposition another opportunity. Slow it up a little bit out there.
Could be holding 3 shots here. It'll be very difficult to get 3 shots out of this.
Yeah, there's no clear way to get jack movement without using another bowl, so you can't really go orange because that shot orange will come back with it. You need to sort of somehow move it with a blue bowl, and for that blue bowl to come back to get 3.
So the angles are not good to be able to do that.
Yeah, the only chance they might have is on the right hand side of the screen, maybe hitting that front blue on a 45 through the head, but that's a very, very tricky shot. Even the best players in New Zealand find that difficult, so, just because it's quite a long way out from the head. The other difficulty is that jack's not touching that orange bowl, so even if you get movement, the jack's not going as far as, say, if it was touching and you get that full momentum transfer.
If he had a full-blooded drive, he could get a result going square through the orange bowl. but I don't think he can play hard enough for that.
Yeah, a lot of the secondary school kids don't get a lot of practice, say, playing fours and playing, what we say is sort of a drive, or some players stand up to drive, so a full swing of the arm. I think whatever Hunter does here, just go for it, just line it up and have a crack.
Basically what we're debating is whether he goes round the group or inside the group. Because
It's a shot he looked at, but he needed to be. He doesn't have to play his last bowl. I would say that it's like 3 shots to Matthew Adlam and Michael Burke, who win this game 9 points to 3.
It's great to see the fair play here. The players all shaking hands. There's a bit of a hug between teammates as they bow out, and that's one of the things that we have in our game. Everybody sort of shakes hands before and after. Everybody sanitising in the current day and age that we're in, and just lucky to actually be here to be playing this tournament. I believe we're going to have some interviews now with Michael Mawson, President of New Zealand Indoor Bowls.
16 bowls. Here's the quarterfinals we've just watched there with Hunter and Sarah, unfortunately not quite getting there. So Hunter, how long have you been playing the game of bowls?
This is my 3rd year playing.
3rd year playing. What about you, Sarah?
same 3rd year playing.
Are you guys interested in any other sports at the moment, or what's happening?
Yeah, I play a couple of other sports.
Like what?
I play hockey, golf and cricket.
Sweet. And what about you?
I only play netball, but bowls is my main sport.
Okay, cool. So, and after this, obviously a trip home back to the Tauranga, is that right? Yep. And so what are we looking forward to, like maybe next year? What's the goals with the game next year?
Getting a bit further into the semis.
Yeah, probably the same thing as well, yeah.
Okay. Hey, well, really unlucky there, but obviously very hard to play against your own schoolmates. But I guess you'll just have to hang around now and support them into the semis. So do you want to have a wee shout out to anyone at home, or?
Yeah, shout out to Alison and Roger.
Yeah, I'd like to shout out to Alison and Roger for getting us here today. Even though neither of you could come, you really supported us, and we wouldn't have been able to do what we did today without you.
Cool. Okay, thank you very much, guys. We might just get Matthew and Michael to quickly pop in here. Hey guys, so that was really good. So quite hard to play against your own schoolmates in the quarterfinals, or was it not too bad?
Well, the lead was my own sister, so yeah, it was a little hard, a little nerve-wracking but going into it, but yeah.
Okay. And how long have you guys been playing bowls for, Mike?
Since year 7.
So that's
About 4 years.
4 years. And what about you, mate?
So I've been playing since my year 8, so 5 years.
Okay. And how many times have you been to this event here?
This is only my 2nd time being here. Last year we didn't do so well, so it's nice to do better here.
Yeah, same with me. Only been here 2 years.
Okay. Well, obviously now into the semi-final, guys. Pretty chuffed with that effort.
Yeah, hopefully we can do better in the semi. So yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure the whole school will be behind you. Any shout-outs for home at the moment, or?
Shout out to Alison and Roger, coaches that couldn't make it.
Yeah, just those two, because they've basically taught us everything we know.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a pretty big shout out to Alison and Roger. Everyone's sort of supporting you guys. But anyway, good luck for the semi-final, guys. And we'll be back, obviously, with live footage from the semi-final shortly. Thank you.